Hallelujah. Amen. So this portion, Devarim, Deuteronomy, Devarim, the real name, the last words of Moses. Keep saying that every week. This whole book is the last words of Moses. And these words tonight, so please, like I say every week, make sure you read this yourself. I don't know where we're going tonight, what we'll cover, but we don't scratch any surface that we do. So you need to go away and read this yourself and pray before you do. Psalm 119, verse 18. Oh yeah, open my eyes that I may see the wonderful things in your Torah. And I ask these things and entrust that he is your Father and he delights to give you the kingdom and wants to teach you. So you need to spend time reading these words yourself. We'll just see where we get to. Because I want to spend the first chunk on talking about the name of the portion. The name of this portion is Ekev. Ekev. It's Ayin, Kof, and the bait. In English, if you wanted to write it, it's E-I-K-E-V, Ekev. Ekev, and Ekev comes from the first verse, which says, Then it shall come to pass, chapter 7, verse 12, Then it shall come to pass, and this is the word, Ekev, because. And I want to spend time in this word. We haven't done words of the week for ages. We don't do it that often anyway. But this is the word of the week. This is the word of the year, almost. Because Ekev, the first time you come across this word, Ekev, or its derivative, is in Genesis chapter 3, when God said to the serpent that the seed of the woman, his heel, is going to crush your head. You're going to bruise his heel. Ekev, that's the word. Heel is the same word as this, because is on the heels of, on account of, on the back of, but it's on the heels of. It's as a result of, and that's what it's saying. As a result of you obeying me, all these blessings will come upon you. So the first time we see it was Genesis chapter 3, when Yah is saying that the seed of the woman, his heel is going to crush the serpent's head. That's the first time we see it. And then we see it in the context of because, same word. And the first time we seen that was in Genesis. I haven't drawn my notes, so. But it's in Genesis anyway. It's in Genesis 22, one of our favourite chapters. Genesis chapter 22. This is the word again, Ekev, chapter 22, verse 15. Then the angel of Yah called out to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says Jehovah. This is the gospel, isn't it? When Abraham is willing to offer Isaac, and the angel said, Don't do it. Don't kill him. Now I've seen what you're willing to do. I myself will bring the lamb. I will myself provide. I'll provide myself, Yah saying, as the lamb. But this is what he says to Abraham. By myself I have sworn, says Yah, Ekev, because on the heels of, because you have done this thing, and you have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you. Multiply I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your descendants shall possess the gates of their enemies. That's what Yeshua all about. In your seed, and we know from the Gospels who that is. This is Yeshua. It's clearly in the Gospels talking about Yeshua. In your seed, the Messiah, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because there it is. Why should all the nations of the earth be blessed? Because Abraham obeyed his voice. It's done and dusted. It's done and dusted from that moment on. Once Abraham obeyed Yah's voice, because of that. Because Ekev, that's why we spend so much time on it. On the heels of that Abraham, all of the nations of the earth are going to be blessed.
And it tells you quite clearly in Galatians chapter 3 that this was the gospel being preached to Abraham. It says here, this is the gospel being preached to Abraham. And so we might try and get into there's a passage tonight about circumcision. And when we read the New Testament and Paul's teachings on circumcision, he's shown us that we are Abraham's seed now. We are, who are not circumcised are Abraham's seed through faith. Was Abraham circumcised when was Abraham counted righteous when he was circumcised or when he was uncircumcised? When he was uncircumcised. And he might be father of both the circumcision and the uncircumcision. Didn't intend to go into that yet, but we might have to go into that later. Can we carry on with this? Because I want you to understand the power of this moment. Never forget the power of the Genesis 22 moment when Abraham obeyed the Creator's voice. Because of that, all of the families of the earth are going to be blessed. And then in Genesis 25, in Genesis 26, then confirms this to Isaac. Isaac, the one who was born through Abraham and Sarah, the son of promise. Well, God confirms this now to Isaac in Genesis 26, verse 3. He says, dwell in this land and I will be with you and bless you, for to you and your descendants I will give all these lands, and I will perform the oath. This is the oath that Galatians is talking about. Galatians 3, when Paul is saying, look, we're part of the promise, and the law that came 430 years after the promise cannot annul the promise. That's what it's saying. This is the promise. This is what we're part of. The law cannot save anybody. It's not to save us. This is our salvation, the promise God made. We're children of promise. If we don't get that, we're not getting it. And we are being religious. And, we've all prone to that. This is like you always say so gracefully, we're coming out. We're coming out. We're being retrained. This is what Paul's on about. Be renewed. Be transformed by renewing your mind to this. I mean, I'm loving to mention it, to sing it, but Jones very kindly printed off the words to our national anthem, which is not You'll Never Walk Alone. You'd be surprised to hear me say. And certainly not God Save the Queen, although God Save the Queen. But our national anthem is Hatikvah. That's our national anthem, because we're Israel. We're grafted into Israel. We are part of Israel. And so our national anthem is Hatikvah, the hope. So we want to learn it, do it in our house group, very, very roughly. We're learning it together, aren't we, in all different keys and all that. But we're trying to learn our national anthem, so we might start getting to sing it here a bit more. Well, I don't know why I'm saying that, but this is why I'm saying it. Because this is what we're grafted into, this promise. So in Genesis 26, verse 3, God is saying, I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham, your father, and I will make your descendants, Isaac, multiplied as the stars of heaven. It's interesting that the sand of the sea is not mentioned in the Isaac lesson, because I understand the stars of heaven is the spiritual offspring, sand of the sea is the natural offspring. And so what he's saying here is, because he's speaking to the son of promise, a forerunner of the Messiah, they'll be like the stars in the heaven, your descendants, Isaac. And that's what Paul's saying to us in Philippians. Come on, shine like stars with us. You're meant to be stars, so when you shine in the midst of this crooked and perverse generation that we're living in, shine like stars, because you're meant to be the star generation. That's the promise to Abraham. That's the promise to Isaac. But look what he says. I will give these to your descendants all these lands, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. You might ask why. Ekev is the word. That's why I'm saying it's not used that much in scripture, this word. It's only in it a few times, and these are the times. Why? Ekev, on the heels of, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge. We looked at that in the priestly, when it was the mishmeret, if you remember, the priests, the Aaronic priests, had to keep the charge. Well, Abraham, however he was doing it, was keeping the charge, which is a priestly function. He kept the charge, he kept the commandments, he kept my statutes and my Torah. I mean, that's what it says, isn't it? That's what it says. Abraham, and on account, on the heels of that, all the nations are going to be blessed. It's a gospel message. So now the next level of this is in the life of one of our favourites, Jacob. Jacob, but if it says his name in Hebrew, you might hear it. What's his name in Hebrew? Yaakov. It's got the yod in front of this word, Ekev. Because why did he get his name? When he came out, well, let's read it, Genesis 25. But this is a bit of a trip down memory lane. I think it's worth it just to reinforce this word because, or in Hebrew, Ekev, on the, gotta get this, heels off, where do we start? Genesis chapter 3, the seed of the woman, his heel is going to crush the serpent's head. It's a very foot passage, this. It's about footsteps. We'll get into the footsteps bit maybe in a minute. But look, this is Genesis 25, verse 20. Genesis 25, verse 20. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as his wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan, the sister of Laban, Areas, the Syrian. Now, Isaac pleaded with Jehovah for his wife because she was barren. All his family's got birth issues, hasn't it? Sarah, Rebecca. It's like, whenever there's a miracle child on the man, you know it's something to do with the Messiah, don't you? Well, here he is again. So, he pleaded with Yah because his wife was barren, and Yah granted his plea, and Rebecca, his wife, conceived. But the children struggled together within her. And this word for struggled, it's used later on in the Tanakh, in Kings, for the force required to crush one's skull. Someone gets his head crushed, and it's that word for struggle, same word that's used. A really immense amount of force is required to crush the person's skull. Well, that's what the struggle that's going on. I alluded to this last time, got challenged by it, so I'm going to make the suggestions, and not just my suggestions, the suggestions of sages that have said this struggle that was going on it was a life and death struggle. And the reason Jacob come out grabbing Esau's ears because Esau was trying to kick his head in the room. Whatever was going on, there was an immense struggle going on. That's why she's like, what's going on in here? It's not normal, this. And Yah said, look, 2 nations are in your womb. 2 people shall be separated from your body. 1 people shall be stronger than the other. And listen, the older shall serve the younger. They haven't got born yet. And God has said, this is how it's going to be. The older will serve the younger. They haven't done a thing yet. I mean, they haven't done a thing. Explains in Romans that Yah, it says, he hated Esau and loved Yaakov. Not that Yah is a respecter of persons, but Yah knows the end from the beginning. Yah knows the decisions Esau's going to make. Yah knows the contempt he's going to have for the birthright. Yah knows the contempt he's going to have for this covenant, for this promise. Hence, such a struggle was going on in the room. Look what happened. So when she gave their days in verse 24 were fulfilled for this to give birth. Indeed, they were twins in her womb. And the first came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over. So he called him Esau. Hairy, because he was hairy. But the next lad, afterwards, his mother came out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. I can't forget, here's the name. You've got to get this. Why is this so important? It goes right back to Genesis chapter 3. And the devil knows this. He knows there's a heel coming that's going to crush my head. God's spoken. I might tell everyone else he's a liar. I might tell everyone else he doesn't know what he's on about. But the devil knows he knows what he's on about.
And if he said, my head's getting crushed, my head's getting crushed. So I need to stop this heel. Yeah, I need to stop this heel. Otherwise, my head's getting crushed. I might bruise his heel, but so what when you've got a crushed head? So Jacob comes, and his name is Yaakov. Yaakov. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 27. And I don't want to, this is just my understanding of what I'm saying. Because people have said this about, well, this is what Esau, that's what I should say, this is what Esau had to say. In verse 36 of chapter 27, he said, Esau said, is he not rightly named Jacob, Yaakov? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. Hang on, did he? Is that right, Esau? Let's just check that out a minute, Esau. He took away my birthright. Well, let's go back. Go back to Genesis 25. In Genesis 25, verse 30, and Esau said to Yaakov, please feed me with that same spread stew, for I am weary. Therefore his name is now called Edom. Red. And you know Edom, they're a big enemy of Israel. But Yaakov said, sell me your birthright as of this day. And Esau said, look, I'm about to die. What's this birthright to me? Then Yaakov said, swear to me as of this day. So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Yaakov. Is Esau right here? He took away. No, you're not. No, Esau. You sold your birthright, lad. And Hebrews will tell us because you despised it. You despised the birthright. So let's have it right here. So just because Esau decides to interpret this name as a supplanter, well, that's up to you. But I'm not going with Esau's interpretation. I'm going with what I can see clearly is what the word of God calls this man. Yaakov. What's Yaakov? Yaakov. Because. This is Yaz because of it. This Jacob is Yaz because. He is the one that was promised to Isaac. Yeah. Abraham got the because. Isaac got the because. And Yaakov is the because fella. Because he will become Israel only. Yaakov, even if he was a supplanter, even if he was, we've seen him repent. We've seen him repent later on when he came to Esau and bowed down and gave him a gift. He's like, everything I've took off you, you can have it back. I'm not that. And so there's any, repentance took place, but that took place after he had wrestled with the angel, and after the angel had changed his name and said, from now on, you'll be Israel. And Israel is probably why I started going on about nationality, because I'm loving my identity as an Israelite, as a Hebrew. That is, you've got to identify. We're not Gentiles, we're not outside of the covenant, we're grafted in, and we have a covenant, and we're part of Israel. And that wouldn't have ever happened without this character, who is called Yazil, Yaakov. Wouldn't have happened without him. So, that's Ekev, because. Yeah, it's a great story. Remember when we done it in Genesis? It's wonderful, this wonderful story. Wonderful story. So, and you see it used in other phrases in the Bible, also used a few times, but another way it's used is footsteps. 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 So, it's a couple of little verses on footsteps. One of my favourites is the Song of Songs. We haven't done a Song of Songs for too long here. Used to do it every week, Song of Songs. Well, let's get back to it. Song of Songs, chapter 1. Verse 7. This is after the Shulamite has been saying, I am da. She says in verse 7, tell me, O you whom I love, chapter 1, verse 7, where you feed your flock, where you make it rest at noon. For why should I be as one who veils herself by the flocks of your companions? I'm in this gang now, I'm in the field. Verse 8, if you do not know, O fairest amongst women. I love the way he changes posture. I am dark but lovely, and he's like, no. Shalom, Dave. Shalom, Dave. Good to see you. haven't even got going yet. Chapter 8, so he's saying, you're not, you're fairest, you are the fairest amongst women, is what he's saying. That's how he wants you to see yourself. Like, when you've got that dark, ugly complex going on, there'll be loads of saying, you're the fairest amongst women to me. The way I see you are the fairest amongst women. People really help you. The reason she doesn't know where she's going is because she doesn't know this. Once she gets grips with the fact that you're the fairest amongst women in his eyes, it might help. Well, this is his advice. If you do not know who fairest amongst women, follow in the footsteps of the flock and feed your little goats beside the shepherd's tents. This is just a call to follow the footsteps of your ancestors. Get back to the ancient paths. You don't know where you're going. You're a bit lost. Follow the ancient paths. Follow in the footsteps of your fathers Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. They're the way to go. They're the way to go. So look at this in Romans now. What a phrase. I'm hoping this will make you see what Paul's on about when he writes, why he writes the way he writes. Romans chapter 4. And I'm trying to tie a few things in maybe here as well. The general message of what we're about here is Romans chapter 4. I've said it a lot the last few weeks. We'll say it a lot more. That we are not under the law. That's what it says in Romans, isn't it? Paul says that in Romans, doesn't it? We are not under the law. We are under grace. That's what Paul says. So we will always declare that, but then we will have to explain that. Because I know people that are coming here now, just for the last few weeks, started to thought we were into the Torah, and you're saying, well, saved by the Torah, what are you saying? And you need to read Romans 4 to understand these things. We read Romans 3 last week when Paul's saying, it sounds like I'm saying you should abolish the Torah here. Is that what I'm saying? No. No, on the contrary, we should establish the Torah. And in Romans 4 he's explaining what this is about, that you cannot be justified by the works of the law. So I need to read it. I just need to read it. Chapter 4, and I'll just do it. I just need to. Chapter 4, it's the word of God. What shall we say that Abraham our father is found according to the flesh? If Abraham is justified by works, he has got something to boast about, but not before God. But what does the scripture say? That's what we want to know here. We don't want to know what people say and opinions. What's the scripture say? Well, the scripture says Abraham believed God, and that was accounted to him for righteousness. That's Genesis 15, when he just said, you can count the stars, Abraham, and so will your descendants be. And Abraham went, I'm having it. I'm just having it. Sound. God said it, I'm believing it. What? That's accounted for righteousness, mate. Well, that's exactly the way the gospel works. If you call on the name of the Lord, if you believe that God raised him from the dead, you're saved. Yeah, you're saved. Well, that's just what it says, isn't it? Verse 4, now to him who works, the wages are not counted as grace, but as debt. And God's no man's debtor. Verse 5, but to him who does not work, remember I was saying last week about the Shabbat, and the message of the Shabbat, do not work, and I was saying, why? And I asked God why, and he said to me, if you like, I don't like using that language, so it's like a weird, but I believe, he's shown me, that this is a message about salvation, mate. The Sabbath's a gospel message about I don't work, you can't work, and I just want you to rest. Because that's what he's saying here. But to him who does not work, but believes on him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is accounted for righteousness. That's how you get righteous. And that's what Paul's so adamant about. You can't get this by working. You can't get this by keeping the Torah. Because James says we've got to break it once, lad, and that's it. You can keep it all and break it once and it's good night. Only wants that? No. But should we do away with it? Certainly not. On the contrary, we should establish this from a position of being new creations and part of the new covenant with the Torah written on your heart. How else you need to see? Verse 6. Just as David also describes the blessedness of the man to whom God imputes righteousness apart from works. David should know. Blessed are those whose lawless deeds are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Amen. I mean, thank you, Father and Shimmer, that our lawless deeds are forgiven and our sins are covered. Because who could stand if we counted our transgressions? No one. Blessed is the man to whom Yah does not impute sin. That's us. Verse 9, does this blessedness then come upon the circumcised only, or upon the uncircumcised also? For we say that faith was accounted to Abraham for righteousness. How then was it accounted? While he was circumcised or uncircumcised? Not while circumcised, but while uncircumcised. And he received the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of the faith which he had while still uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all those who believe. See, Abraham's your father. Even though they're uncircumcised, that righteousness might be imputed to them also. Someone's asking me, believe, coming from another Hebrew Roots Fellowship, not a million miles away from here, where they're teaching that righteousness is not imputed. It's like, oh, just read that. Just read that. That righteousness might be imputed to them also. Is righteousness imputed to us by faith? Yeah. But this is why I'm reading it. What did we just read before? Where do you feed your flocks? If you don't know who fairest amongst women, follow in the footsteps. Yeah? Look at this verse. And the father of circumcision, to those who not only are of the circumcision, but those who walk in the steps of their faith. There it is. See what Paul's writing about walking in the steps of the faith. He's got a footprint message going on, because this is a real footprint gospel. He crushed the serpent's head with his foot, with his heel. He really did crush the serpent's head with his heel. Ah, man, thank you for that. Thank you for that, because I missed out on that. John just said, the gospel message is, follow me. Which is a walk, isn't it? It's a walk. Follow me is follow me on foot. And the final verses of tonight's portion is, wherever the sole of your foot will tread, I have given it to you. I will give you. That's why people do prayer walks and the likes. Wherever your foot treads, I've given it to you. And I think I've mentioned this, but if you look at them real Mount Sinai videos, you will see scattered throughout the Arabian Peninsula footprints chiseled into the stone. Chiseled footprints, because the children of Israel took this seriously and let's chisel our footprints. Evidence. We want evidence that we're here. And they're here to this day. You know, sort of gang of scallies from Arabia, well, I haven't done it. That's, you know, Ahmed was here. This was like the children of Israel, because on some of them rocks, there's menorahs on that rocks. Don't be telling me any Arabians have done that. And don't be telling me some Jews have sneaked in overnight and done it. This was done by the people that were at Sinai. And when the instructions were given, we'd gone away and chiseled the rocks. Pictures of the menorah, footprints, we were here. Israel was here. Okay, lad. Yeah. So why we're reading this for as well, this comes together now, I hope, because we'll go to the end of the, or we'll go to chapter 10 now in our Torah portion. Because we're talking about this circumcision all the time, it does tie together. I've mentioned that, so I'll finish now with that footsteps bit. Footsteps. To say one final thing, it says in Psalm 89, verse 51, that they, let me just get it correct what it says. Psalm 89, verse 51, just one quick reference, final footsteps reference. Psalm 89, verse 51, with which your enemies have reproached you, O Yah, with which they have reproached the footsteps of your Mashiach. The footsteps of the Messiah. And that's what the Jews call this time we're in now. They don't say, oh, we're in the end times. They say, we are now in the footsteps of the Messiah. Can you hear his feet coming? Like the way Adam hear the sound of him walking in the garden. That high priest rode with his golden pomegranates and his bells and all the rest of it, or his golden bells and pomegranates, all was a message of the footsteps of the Messiah. And that's what we need to be, the footstep people, walking in his footsteps, just following him. Yeah, okay, whatever that is. Okay, sorry, right, sound. Yeah, we are in the last days, John. Yeah. They call the sign of the footsteps of the Messiah. You know, we should be listening out for his footsteps, because he's coming. He's coming. So I'm reading about all that, just to tie this bit in. I'll be honest with you, last year's message, we done the reading and just went through it verse by verse. And I would recommend watching it if you like that sort of commentary. But the only thing is, we've only done chapter 7 and 8. So I still want to go back to that. So I'm just covering these last bits now. Chapter 10, let me just do chapter 10. Chapter 10. Chapter 10, verse 12, let's start with verse 12. Chapter 10, and last bit of chapter 9, it's just Moshe, and he's going back over what happens when there was the sin of the golden calf, and then he had to go back to the mountain, and then he made tablets, and he's given another history lesson. So read it, but we might not spend that much time on it. I want to cover this bit. Verse 12, chapter 10. And now Israel, which is used, what does Jehovah, your Elohim, require of you? What a great question. What does he require of you? This is what he requires of you. But to fear Jehovah, your Elohim. I'll just mention that. What's that mean? Well, we could have covered this last week, because this was last week. We didn't cover that much, but last week there was 2 occasions where what Moses wrote, Yeshua quoted when the devil tempted him in the wilderness. There was 2 times last week that we could have gone, oh, see that's what Yeshua quoted. And one of them was that when the devil came and said, bow down and worship me, and I will give you all the kingdoms. And Yeshua said, it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, not fear. It says fear in the Torah, and in the Gospels it says worship. So now you can get an understanding of what's fear. It's worship. It's fear. It's not hiding like Adam did. Worship. Fear is worship, because Yeshua uses it interchangeably. Yeah, worship him. Intimacy is a great word. So when you see fear, worship is the same. Worship Yehovah Elohim. This is where it's saying, walk in all his ways. Follow me. That's what Yeshua said. Follow me. Walk in all my ways, because I'm him that wrote it. And love him. This was the Shema. Love him. Serve Yehovah, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul. That's what he requires of you. That's what he requires of you. Doesn't require that you just turn up at church once a week. He requires this, that you walk in his ways. Not say they're done away with. Not have some clever Christian theology to excuse having to do what he says. If you want to do that, that's up to you. But as for me and my house, we'll try and do this. We'll have an hope to do our best. And thank God we're not saved by it. Because if you were, we'd all fail. And what that'll be terrible. And that's why legalistic people are dead miserable. And never talk about Yeshua. And never talk about the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world, when he chose us to adopt us as sons, because he predestined us to adoption before the foundations of the world. You know, that's just the end of the matter. You know, but we'll carry on. So, that's what he requires. So, verse 13, oh yeah, and to keep the commandments of Yehovah and his statutes, which I have commanded you today, for your good. You know, indeed, heaven and the highest heavens belong to Yehovah, your Elohim, also the earth. That's his as well. Verse 15, Yehovah delighted only in your fathers to love them, and he chose their descendants after them. We've been through that, haven't we? Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, because all because Abraham obeyed his voice. And he chose there, he sends after them, you above all peoples, as it is this day. Therefore, this is why we're reading it. Circumcise the foreskin of your heart. Go ahead. Circumcise the foreskin of your heart. And be stiff-necked no longer. For Yahovah, your Elohim, is the God of gods. And what else he is? The Lord of lords. So when it says in Revelation 19 that Yeshua comes down and he's got a name written on his thigh, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, guess who Yeshua's saying is? Yahovah Elohim. Well, it's clear, isn't it? Anyone that wants to dispute it, you see, spend all the time in the Word of God. And when it says that Yahovah is the Lord of Lords, Yeshua's not robbing that title. He is Yahovah.
And it's interesting, Stephen, Hebrews, where he said, the Lord said to my Lord, it's Yahweh said to Yahweh.
Yeah, that's sound.
Yeah. It said Yahweh said to Yahweh, but we've got the Lord said to my Lord.
I know, it's a strange thing.
We've lost it.
Yeah. So why I say this, because we need to work this out, don't we? Therefore, circumcise the foreskin of your heart. So all them women are like, well, this isn't circumcision. No, it's just a fellas. Like, no, it's not. You've got a heart, haven't you? Well, circumcise the foreskin of it then. How can we possibly do that? Please, how are we meant to do this? Circumcise the foreskin of our heart. It sounds like a messy operation to me and quite lethal. Well, thank God we don't have to, because God will do it for us. Look what he says in Deuteronomy chapter 30. Deuteronomy chapter 30. This is, we love all this. This is Moshe prophesying about the end days. This is Moshe, like we said last week, telling them, I've told you all this, but nevertheless, you are going to disobey this. You are going to totally disobey everything I've told you. And all of these curses and these woes will come upon you. This is going to be your history, Israel. This is what he's saying to them, chapter 30. It says, it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you call them to mind, where among all the nations where Yahovah, your Elohim, has you, and you return to Yahovah, this is a prophecy, your Elohim, and obey his voice like Abraham did, because that's what this covenant is about, isn't it? You know when Yeshua said, my sheep will hear my voice. You know, it hasn't changed. It's still about hearing his voice. It's like Hebrews says, today, you hear his voice. Don't harden your heart. Harden your heart. Hard heart. Circumcise the foreskin of your heart. This is what it's all about. So when you come and obey his voice, according to all I command you today, you and your children, with all your heart and with all your soul, that Yahovah, your Elohim, will bring you back from captivity. That's what he's doing now. And have compassion on you. Yeshua was full of compassion. You always hear that I had compassion on them. He had compassion on the woman. He had compassion on the multitudes. He had compassion and he looked at them and he said, these are like sheep that I'm to shed. Exactly what Moses had asked for. Yeshua is that man, that prophet. So he had compassion on them. And he will gather you, amen. He will gather you again from all the nations where Yahovah, your Elohim, has scattered you. If any of you are driven out from the farthest parts under heaven, you know, the farthest parts under heaven. Someone was asking the other week, when, you know, some people think that you've got to keep tabernacles, you live in, you know, Liverpool, and go to live in, and they go and live in tents and all this, and it's quite clear. This woman was saying, well, what happens to the rest people? You'll freeze to death. And I was like, yeah, amen, sister, amen. Thank God that the Torah is clear. You're going to need to Israelite, then you've got to go and live in a sukkah. You can live in Aiton, you know, let's just have it like that, you know, because we've got to rightly divide this. This is what Paul's saying to Timothy. Rightly divide the Torah, the truth. You know, you've got to understand. You know, I am not ashamed in the slightest to all of those Torah people, kamikaze people, to say this what we're reading now is the old covenant. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's the old, weaker covenant. I mean, it's just what Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 3. He says, if the ministry of death engraved on stones was with glory, how much more is this new, better covenant? So we're definitely part of a new, better covenant. But it's not without the commandments. It's not done away with the Torah. It's not better because you can please yourself. It's better because he will empower you. And more than anything, give you the desire to do this. You know, I mean, I say I am loving the Israeli identity, even if it is under attack. I don't care, because I'm going to sing and sit back even louder and blow my shofar really loud. Because no one's going to steal my identity from me. The devil's an identity thief. He wants to steal your identity. No, identity theft isn't just about credit cards. It's about the devil trying to steal your new identity. And your new identity is a member of the house of, well, the family of God. If you're an Israelite, you're a Hebrew, you've crossed over from death to life. I'm not saying we're Jewish, because that's the tribe of Judah. You know, I'm not getting into that. But we are Hebrews, and that this is our identity. Is that alright? Yeah? Oh, but anyway, when he starts, look, if any of you are living to the far, you know, if you're living within igloos and Eskimo, from the farthest part of the earth, under heaven, from there, Yahovah, your Elohim, will gather you. Kabots, where you get very close from. And from there, he will bring you. Then Yahovah, your Elohim, will bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. Amen. Possess it. Amen. Amen. So when you see all that occupied territories nonsense, tell them it's not the occupied territories at all. It's the possessed territories, because they've been possessed by Israel. So he will possess it. He will prosper you and multiply you more than your fathers. Verse 6. And Yahovah, your Elohim, he will do the circumcision. He will circumcise your heart. You can't do that yourself, can you? How can you circumcise your heart? Exactly, John. How will he do this? We'll get on to that now. Yahovah, your Elohim, will circumcise your heart and the heart of your descendants, to love Yahovah, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul, that you may live. And as you just said, there's only one way this can happen, and that's by getting a new heart. That's by going out. Give us that heart of stone here, bless that, and have a new heart of flesh. Have a heart that I can engrave my Torah on now. You know the way the Spirit of God, the finger of God, wrote the words on the 2 stone tablets. Well, if you can write them on 2 stone tablets, you can write them on these hearts. And if we will apply ourselves, we can write them on our minds. And our minds can be renewed, and our lives will be transformed. That's what Paul's on about.
That's right. I mean, the difference between the two covenants is that in the old covenant you had to do it, in the new covenant you want to do it.
That's a nice way of putting it. That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, the want to. This fellow I listen to him, if you listen to America, keep saying that God gives you the want to. He puts the want to in there. You know, he will give you the desires of your heart. That's not like your selfish desires. Oh, I want this, well, I'm going to solve it, don't get it. Oh, well, I'll give it to you. No, he will give you pure, holy desires. And he's doing it us, isn't he? You know, we've got a desire to try and keep these things. You know, hallelujah. Amen. So I'm just saying that's the circumcision bit. You know, and we've covered it. How does this happen? It happens through the new birth. And let's just cover it from the New Testament. Colossians chapter 2, verse 11. If anyone doubts your circumcision, and this is what's happening, you see, we've already part of this, that Moses' prophecy is to the children of Israel scattered throughout the world, and he's saying God's going to bring you back and he'll circumcise your heart. That's code for he's going to open your eyes and you're going to understand what you're Jews and Messiah. Because that's how you get your heart circumcised. How do we know that? Colossians chapter 2 verse 11. In him, in the Messiah, you were also circumcised with the circumcision made without hands, by putting off of the body of the sins of the flesh by the circumcision of Messiah. That means by his cutting off. His flesh was cut off.
He died for us. And Paul will explain how. We were buried with him in baptism, in which you were also raised with him through faith in the work of God who raised him from the dead. And you, being dead in your trespasses and the uncircumcision of your flesh, he has made alive together with him, having forgiven you all trespasses, having wiped out the handwriting of requirements that was against us, which was contrary to us, and he has taken it out of the way, having nailed it to the cross. And that is not, he nailed, thou shalt love your enemies, and thou shalt not kill. And nail that to the cross. You can kill everyone now. And, you've got to love your mother and all your father. Nail that to the cross. You can just hate them now. You can't murder. Nail that to the cross. Just go on, murder everyone. That's nonsense. How stupid does that sound? That's not what text said here. It's the handwriting of the requirements against you. It was the guilty charge. What does justified mean? I'd love to go into it. Hands, Lord, and Lord would go, can I just see that out the Amplified? When we read Romans, where it says justified, the Amplified goes amplified on it and starts coming up with words I can understand, like acquitted. I can understand acquitted. Acquitted means the judge has gone not guilty, and you're going sound. Acquitted is what justified means. It means you're bound to rights. You are guilty as charged. CCTV footage and everything.
Like this week, Tommy Robinson was acquitted.
Well, he was actually. He's on bail. He's on bail. He's been let out on bail. Yeah. I'm just saying he wasn't acquitted, was he? No. Acquitted means, yeah, he's got to still face the thing. God bless him. Let's not get all,
got off with it.
No, he's on bail. But like acquitted will be when the judge says, not guilty, Tommy. And we go, hallelujah, free Tommy. So that's circumcision, alright? Circumcision. The Torah requires circumcision of the heart. And the only way you can have a circumcised heart is get a new one. Yeah? And we have got a new one, and we just need to get in touch with it. I was saying to Terry today, this singer and national anthem is warm in the cockles of my mouth. I don't even know what they are doing, but whatever they are, it's warm in the inside. I identify with Israel, my identity warms my heart, because I've got a new heart, and it responds to this. So we've only got 20 minutes, we've got to start. Look, chapter 7, verse 12, we've just done the first verse. Yeah, but I'll be all over the place, I'm just going to get into it now. There's only a few things we can do, but I definitely want to cover a bit of chapter 8. I know. So let's just get back into it now. Chapter 7, Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning. No, Deuteronomy chapter 7. Verse 12, we covered this. Then it shall come to pass, because, don't forget that, we can't forget that, surely after all this, because Ekev on the heels of. Because you listen Shema to these judgments, and Shomer, keep them, and Asa, do them. There's your three. You've seen this now, but they're all are together. You've got to Shema, which means to understand, hear and understand. Then you've got to Shomer, which means guard, keep. With Paul said, guard the month of the Aviv. Don't let anyone start telling you the first month of the year is January. Don't let anyone do that to you. Guard the Creator's calendar. When the Creator says that the first month is the month of the Aviv, guard it. Keep that month. Don't let anyone take that from you. That's what guard means. Keep, guard, and cherish. But it's also not just doing that. You've got to actually do. Asa. Do them. Here. Yeah, well said, yours. That's what James is saying. This is real faith. It's no good just saying, oh, believe. The devil mentally accepts these things, but that's no good. Faith without works is dead. So we need to have this balance. We are not saved by works, but we are saved to do good works, and faith without works is a dead faith. A dead faith, and Yeshua actually talks to one of the assemblies, doesn't he? I think it's the Sardis assembly, and he says, you've got a name that you're alive. You've got a name that you're one of them big congregations and singing all that. You've got a name that you're alive, but guess what? You're dead. Faith without works is dead. So we need to take that on the ship. We're doing that, we're playing more. Help us as a congregation not to just be dead clever and all that, and sing the Israeli national anthem. But this is real religion. Look after the widows and the orphans. You know, let's do the works, please. I know, yeah, but George goes to visit prisoners, and I'm made up for something we can pray into, something we can support him in. I'm not saying he's the only one here, but, you know, we need to know if you're doing works. We need to know what you're up to so we can help and pray and be involved. Because we want to do works. Like Justice said, this is all we've got. Some of you have got boss churches to come to, we haven't. This is it. We've got each other, lad. You know, we've got each other, and we need to work as a team to do the works that He has called us to do. We can't do it without each other. So we always pray that you build this fellowship, you build this house, or we'll be labouring in vain. So look, let's get past verse 1. So if you do that, Yahovah your Elohim will keep with you the covenant and the mercy which He swore. It's always in it to your fathers. The more you connect with Abraham, the better it'll be, you know. The more real faith you'll have, the more you're connected with Abraham, because he's the father of the faith. So let's hang around with him. Verse 13, and He will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb. And the minute I read that, I went, hang on a minute. That reminds me of someone I know. It reminds me of someone I know that. He will also bless the fruit of your womb. Because in Luke chapter 1, verse 42, you've heard this. Luke chapter 1, verse 42, we'll be in the Gospels in a few weeks. And when you see the real chronology of the Gospel, it's great. This bit's easy. But what happens is, Elizabeth, Elisheva, my God has sworn. That's what her name means. Not Elizabeth. Elisheva, my God, Eli has sworn. That's why she brings this fantastic man called Yochanan the Baptist. And so she's 6 months pregnant, isn't she, with Yochanan the Baptist. And then is her cousin Mary turns up Miriam. And Miriam's pregnant now, and she's got Yeshua in her womb. And it says it happens in verse 41, when Elisheva heard the greeting of Mary, which is probably Shalom, wasn't it? Probably bother on the top going, Shalom, Shalom, and Elisheva. When she heard the greeting of Mary, the babe, Yochanan the Baptist, John the Baptist leaped in her womb. When she heard the sound of Mary's voice, John the Baptist leaped in her womb. And Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. And she spoke out with a loud voice and said, blessed are you amongst women. And, blessed is the fruit of your womb. So when I read that in the Torah, I went, and we know this anyway, it's all about Yeshua, isn't it? In the volume of the book, it's written of him. But when I read that, I went, oh, you know what? I can see this a bit differently now. This ultimately is all about Yeshua. And Yeshua said to me, don't think I've come to do away with the Torah. I've come to fulfill it. I've come to fulfill it. And these didn't fulfill it. That's why Yeshua's come to fulfill it. Because let's carry on. Just putting you in mind here that this is all about Yeshua. So let's go down to verse 16. Well, let's read verse 15. And Yahovah, you know, for our friends here that are with us tonight because of sickness and stuff. Well, this is our covenant. Yah will take away from you all sickness, and and will afflict you with none of the terrible diseases of Egypt which you've known, but will lay them on those who hate you. Also, you shall destroy all the peoples whom Yahovah your Elohim delivers over to you. Your eyes shall have no pity on them, nor shall you serve their gods, for that will be a snare to you. Right, well, let me just read this from Psalm 106. I need to read this from Psalm 106. This was what Moshe commanded them. How clear do you want it? Destroy all the peoples. Don't have any pity on them. Don't serve their gods. It'll be a snare to you. Psalm 106, verse 34. They did not destroy the peoples. It's like a direct contradiction. Don't destroy the peoples. They did not destroy the people. They did not destroy the peoples, concerning whom Yahovah commands them. But they mingled with the nations and learned their works. This is what God said. This is what Moses said. Don't copy the nations. Even if you're worshipping me, don't do it like they worship their gods. Don't adopt their systems. Don't start calling my Sabbath Sunday. Please don't do that. Don't call my holy day Sunday. Stop doing that. And do not adopt pagan festivals like Easter and Christmas and associate them with me. They've got nothing at all to do with me. They're not my festivals. And don't worship me, even if you're worshipping me and saying Jesus is Lord. Don't do it the way the nations do it. But them festivals are doing it the way the nations do it. Sorry, but that's the way it is. This is what they did. They learned their works. They served their idols, which became a snare to them. Like Christmas is a snare to them. It's crazy. Oh, I hate that Christmas. It's become a snare to people. Man have started off with nice intentions and look what it's become. I mean, look what it's become. Suicide, capital day of the year, and all the rest of it. It's horrible. Verse 37, they even sacrificed their sons and their daughters to demons. Yeah, and shed innocent blood. The blood of their sons and daughters whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus they were defiled by their own works and played the harlot by their own deeds. I think I'll be next to this. Therefore, the wrath of Jehovah was kindled against his people. Just like Moshe said. It's not like Moshe didn't give them the heads up, is it? It's not like Moshe said, if you don't do what I'm telling you, you're going to perish. The land's going to vomit you out. The Canaanites have done all this, and they're getting spewed out the lands. Don't think it's going to be any different for you. It's not like Moses didn't tell them. It's not like Yeshua hasn't told us that many are going to turn up and have to give them Lord, Lord. Oh, Lord. It's not like Yeshua hasn't given us the heads up that he's going to say, I don't know you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. I mean, it's not like he hasn't given us the heads up. If people don't want to take attention, if people want to twist that, that's up to them. But I'm never going to stop preaching that Yeshua has nothing to do away with this. How we work this out, the consequences of not doing it right, he has told us there will be least, there will be great in the kingdom, there will be least and great. That's how I see this. Obedience will get you rewards and will give you a much better place in the kingdom to come. That's how Yeshua seems to be saying it. And disobedience will just, you just be in the relegation fight at the end of the season. We want to be lifted to the championship at the end of the season. We're fighting relegation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever. So that's what we're doing. The wrath, just like Moses said, the wrath from back to Psalm 106 verse 40. I think you can gather a lot of too much of the reading tonight. So he abhorred his own inheritance and gave them into the hands of the Gentiles. This is exactly Israel's history. Who hated them and ruled over them. Psalm 106 verse 42. Now their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times he delivered them, but they rebelled in their counsel and were brought low for their iniquity. Nevertheless, Nevertheless, oh, what mercy is this? Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry, and for their sake he remembered his covenant. Because he swore to Abraham, and this is what Moses said again, as he told over and over again, you will remember. Nevertheless, when you cry out in the land of your affliction, he will remember you. What a God is. I mean, this is who this God is. It's happening in our day. We rejoice to be here to see this. There's a great move of God coming, I believe it with all my heart. He remembered them for his covenants, and he relented the call.
The multitude of his mercies. I mean, we did talk this last night, did half to half of this weekend. It's Isaiah 59 through to Isaiah 51, when God's saying, Zion is saying, oh, you're forsaken us, and God's saying, how can I forsake you, Zion? Can a mother forget his nursing child? Can she forget the son that she loves? No, well, how can you think for 1 minute, I'm going to forsake you, Zion? I'm just waiting for you to cry out to me. Just cry out to me and I'll be there like a star. What a day. And the best thing we can do is get in on it and pray for this. You know, I'm going to carry on reading this. He remembered his covenants, and he lent to the multitude of his mercies. He also made them to be pitied by those who carried them away captive. Save us, O Yahovah Elohim, and gather us from among the nations, to give thanks to your holy name, to triumph in your praise. Blessed be Yahovah, the Elohim of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. And let the people say, Amen. 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 You got the gist of that, haven't you? You got the gist of that. I'm going to just finish off last 5-10 minutes in chapter 8. Chapter 8, just a little gospel thing to finish. Little snippets of the Gospels to finish now. I said before, last week's portion, twice Yeshua used the words of Moses when he was being tempted in the wilderness. First one was, you shall worship Yahovah only, and him only will you serve. That was straight out of last week's portion. And the other one was, what was it, the other one? Do not tempt the Lord. Yeah, you know, he said, throw yourself off this high place and all that. And Yeshua said, no, it is written, you shall not tempt Yahovah. And that again was what we said last week. Well, now we're going to read the third part of that episode in the wilderness. So, 10 minutes at the most. So all these birthday parties you keep having every week. Chapter 8, every commandment which I command you today. Oh, please, Moses saying, please be careful to observe it, that you may live and multiply. This is the blessings of obedience. We will be fruitful and multiply. The curses, he has taken the curses upon him. Let's have it right. He has paid the price for the curses. We are forgiven for sins, you know, but he will discipline those he loves, and you may exclude yourself from blessing by not obeying this. Let's just be blessed. So anyway, be careful to observe that you may live and multiply and go in and possess the lands of which Yahovah swore to your fathers. Look, remember, a lot of this tonight, when you read it yourselves, you'll keep saying, don't forget, remember. Make sure you remember. Don't forget. You keep seeing the same language all the time. Moshe urging us, remember this. Keep it in the front of your mind. Tie it around your head and all the rest of it. And write it on your doorposts. This is what it says. You know, so you can take that. This is what Jews do, isn't it? They've sort of made these things called mezuzah, which means doorpost, and write something inside it and nail that to the door. Well, I'm not sure that's what God meant. He said, write it on your doorposts. So we're supposed to go and write that on our doorposts, so if you want to. But I would just consider that this is our house. These are our portals, our ears and our eyes, etc. So just immerse yourself in it, is what I'm thinking of saying. But he keeps saying, remember, don't forget, because we are inclined to forget. And without going through it all, you'll say, because when you get there, and you're blessed and all, everything's sound, and you've got loads of dough, and you're all laughing, then you'll forget. then you'll forget you're inclined to be like this. You need a remembrance system. This is why Yeshua said, take bread and wine and do it in remembrance of me. This is why Deuteronomy chapter 5 says, every Sabbath, remember that you were slaves in the land of Egypt. I want you to do that every Sabbath. I need to do it every day, don't forget. But these are systems that God's given us to help us remember. You can guarantee you come here every week, you keep getting it and remembering it. Well, all fellowship should be like that. And I'm not being funny. Verse 2, you shall remember that Yahweh, your Elohim, led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness. Why was it 40 years? Because the spies went into the land, what, for 40 days, didn't they? And they got a punishment for a year for every day. So they were in the land, in the wilderness for 40 years because of that 40 days. So that's good. It was nice to see Yeshua, because what did he was in the wilderness for? 40 days. What was he doing? Redeeming all this. He's the Redeemer. So he's going to get it right. And that's what I didn't end up saying on the last chapter, when I was saying this is all about Yeshua. I went down that path of Israel didn't do this. Israel didn't destroy their enemies. We read, didn't we? They did not destroy their enemies. And that's when I realised, you know what? Yeshua's going to fulfill the Torah. This is what Revelation is on about. He's coming back as a mighty man of war. And guess what? He is going to destroy all his enemies. He's going to do what Torah says. So he hasn't fulfilled that bit yet. There's still loads that hasn't been done yet. Maybe that's why the devil wants us so much to go. It's all fulfilled now. He's done it all. When he said it's finished, that's all fulfilled. The devil doesn't want the rest of the Torah to be fulfilled, because the rest of the Torah is he's coming back and all his enemies are getting destroyed, like the psalm you read tonight. It kept on going on about the wicked are going to get it. They will escape. Yeshua is going to do what Moses was telling Israel to do, and they didn't do it. Alright, so I just wanted to get that bit in. I'm not going to keep going for loads, I just want to get this final bit in now. Back into chapter 8. So he led you in the wilderness. Well, what did he do it for? He done it to humble you and test you. That's why we love Psalm 139. Save on to our 40 years in the wilderness. Just go, hey Lord, test me with it. Know me, search me and try me. Because, I don't want to be on that day and you're going, I don't know you. Know me, Lord, and test me. Because that's what he wants to do. He's doing it to test them. He led them to test them, to know what was in your heart, whether you will keep his commandments or not. Verse 3, last part of the Torah reading now, then I'm going to just go into the Gospels quickly. Verse 3, so he humbles you, allows you to hunger. He didn't leave you like that. Then he fed you with manna. He fed you with manna, with what came from heaven, which Yeshua said, that's really me. Moses didn't give you the manna from heaven. I am the bread that came from heaven. So this is all about Yeshua. He humbled you, allowed you to hunger, and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that he might make you know this. And this is what Yeshua said, that man shall not live by bread alone, but man lives by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Yah. Right, so we're going to finish off in the Gospels now. 5 minutes at the very most. Matthew chapter 4. We'll go to Matthew, Mark, or Luke. When we do the chronological Gospels, this is wonderful. This sets off the chronological Gospel when you see this. But I'm not going to go there. Matthew chapter 4. You see. Sorry, before we do Matthew chapter 4, let's just see. What did it say? Every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. So Matthew chapter 3, verse 16 is when Yeshua is being baptized. Verse 16, when Yeshua had been baptized, he came up immediately from the water, and behold, the heavens were opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting upon him. And suddenly a voice came from heaven saying, and pay attention to every word that proceeds from the mouth of God, because this is the voice of God. speaking, isn't it? And the voice says, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Now after that, Yeshua is led into the wilderness for a period of 40 days and nights to be tested, it says. And what's he just heard? He's heard a voice saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." So we're going to first very quickly. So it says now, in verse 3, chapter 4, verse 3, when the tempter came to him, he said, if you are the Son of God, command these stones become bread. But Yeshua answered and said, it's written in Deuteronomy, in tonight's Torah portion, what Moses said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. And hey devil, you missed the word out there, lad. Because I heard it, and I've been in the wilderness for 40 days, and you know what? I've been meditating on it. Because I got a lot of comfort when I come out them waters of baptism, and the Holy Spirit landed on my head like a dove, and a voice came out of heaven and said, this is my beloved Son. And you missed the word out there, devil. When you said that I am the Son of God, you should have said, if you're the beloved Son of God, because he loves me. I am the beloved Son of God, and you missed that out. And never, ever miss that out. Because that is something we need to hear every day. Today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your heart like they did in the wilderness. And what's his voice saying today? You are my beloved Son. I love you. I don't hate you. He's not willing for any to perish. God's not willing for any to perish. He has redeemed you, paid for you with his own life, and wants you to know now, I love you. You know, this is love. Not that we loved him, but that he first loved us. If we get that, we might be able to respond to the Shema and to love him with all our heart. But if we don't know he loves us, we'll be incapacitated. We'll be on the sidelines. We'll never quite get this, and we'll just live out our days and need the opposite. But if we get it, hang on, he loves me. This is where that faith and trust will be nurtured. This lifestyle, you can't walk this walk outside of relationship and outside of the security that he loves you. And we've read a lot about it tonight. I'm not trying to give anyone here a chitty to go and sin. I'm not trying to do that. I am trying to say, if we do, he forgives us. And if he cleanses us, he's fully aware of it. But we are trying to walk in his ways. So, amen. Father, thank you that you love us, Lord. You absolutely love us. Israel is the apple of your eye. And you have grafted us into Messiah, into your nation, to make us a holy nation, a royal priesthood, a special people, your special treasure. So Father, bless this congregation, bless this assembly, those with us, those not with us. Bless them, Lord. Yivarecha, Yehovah, Vayishmerecha, Yehovah, Panavelecha, Veikulecha, Isaiah, Yehovah, Panavelecha, Veyasem Lecha Shalom. Yehovah bless you, and Yehovah keep you, keep you, keep you. Yehovah make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yehovah lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom. In the name of Yeshua, the Sar Shalom, the Prince of Peace. Amen. Hallelujah.